All right, Major Mohammad Ali Shah, since you have served a considerable amount of your time as a major in the army in the Northeast and particularly Manipur, my question is more strategic in the larger view of the strategic interests of our country and how there are territories which are bordering India or are in the subcontinent that are being salami sliced by the Chinese to set up ports, to set up military bases. And Myanmar is amongst many of these countries that have been taken control of by the Chinese. Now we understand the Chinese threat that has been imposed in the line of actual control in Ladakh. When we take a look at Maldives and also a look at Myanmar, where the Coco Islands have been inhabited by the Chinese to set up their military base. When we take a look at on the western frontier, where there is the Gadar port as part of the CPEC project that has been built, that is under construction to be built as a military base of China targeting India. In a situation as tense and sensitive as this, how do we ensure that the defense forces are given enough power and decision authority to take the right actions that need to be taken to safeguard our borders?
Megha, that's a very good question. I had the honor to serve as the ADC to the corps commander there. Thereafter, I went on deputation to the Assam Rifles, and I had the honor to serve with General Govind Dwivedi, a very, very illustrious general officer who served with distinction over there under his command. A lot of good results were reached, in fact, Megha. Now, as General Dwivedi rightly said, Moreh is actually a very strategic place. It's the commercial hub in a way, and it's bordering Myanmar. That's Tamu on the other side. So the very fact, and the violence has gone on for quite some time. And just today, incidentally, the Director General of Assam Rifles, Lieutenant General P.C. Nair, he personally went there to Moreh, took a stock of the situation, and he was briefed by the sector commander over there, again a very, very illustrious officer, Brigadier V.P. Yadav, who told him about the happenings on ground in Moreh. And of course, in that meeting, of course, they were the people from and he vouched for the fact that the Assam Rifles will continue with the Sobrika, that's the Friends of the Hill people completely. So the meeting over there was the Kuki Students Organization were there, the Kuki Women's Union was there, the Human Rights of Moreh committee was there, the Kuki NP was there, of Technopal, the Tamil Sangam was there, the Gorkha Samiti was there, the Manipur Muslim Council was there. And so there were Nagas, Kukis, there were a whole lot of, there are a lot of Tamilians also in Moreh, incidentally. The Pangals are the Manipuri Muslims, they were there, the Gorkhas were there, and the Sikh community, of course. Now, Moreh is a place where dominantly the Kuki tribe lives there, but it's a mix, you can call it, because Technopal, which is very, very close to Moreh, strategically, it is again a mix, Technopal, and Moreh, predominantly Kukis, but they are Nagas, they are Meiteis, they are a whole lot of South Indians. If you go to Moreh, you will be surprised to see a South Indian restaurant over there, written over there in South Indian language, in Tamilian language. And how and when the Tamilians went there, there's a long history behind it, which we'll discuss some other time. But now we have to understand strategically, even Manipur, there are regions which are community-based, tribal-based or community-based. Like, for example, in Shashanpur, which the Kukis call it popularly for them, it is called Lamka, right? So, like Thorbung, Parbung would come under Shashanpur side. There, it is dominated by Kukis. Moreh is dominated by Kukis, as I mentioned, but there are Meiteis there as well. Imphal or Kakshin, Thobel is primarily a Meitei belt. Like, then they are like Ukhrul. Those are the Tangkul belt, the Naga, the Naga warriors of Manipur. So now, they are all subdivided and they are buffer zones. Now, when there has been firing recently between the militants in Moreh and the Manipur police, see, they are Assam Rifles and there is Army, which is doing a very fine job, which are there, which is doing a very, very impartial job, a selfless service. And I am sorry to say, it's a very thankless job that the forces over there have to do, who are staying away from their families in non-peace locations, in non-family locations over there. So the very fact is, see, Megha, the two communities have to sit down and talk. dialogue is the way forward. But where the poison has spread so much in the sense that, they sort of hatred between the two communities right now, it is very, very important. People are concerned all over. Post midnight, I was doing an interview post midnight last couple of days with people from Manipur. In fact, we've been discussing how to bring about peace in that land, a beautiful land. Now, I'll quickly conclude by saying, Moreh Township, in fact, that lied in the Indo-Myanmar border, in fact, and I just sometime before I was in Tao, I spoke to the PRO, the PRO who handles the media from DG Assam Rifles, and he sent me a nice long note about the detailed noting about the situation in Moreh at the moment. And I would like to comment once again. I'd like to conclude by commending the Director General of Assam Rifles, particularly Lieutenant General P.C. Nair, for actually doing a very, very commendable and leading in the right way, in the right direction, with the people. He is winning the heart and mind of the people over there. And so a lot of goodwill is being generated when he reaches out to people, the CSO,
Fair enough. Yes, you give us the details, the specifics of what is happening in which district, particularly the border areas, the Moreh area, and that's important information that needs to be consumed and acknowledged and recognized as well. Major Mohammad Ali Shah, reference to China and how it has been manipulating Myanmar to infest terrorism and infiltration of drugs trade and arms trade is also reflective of a few incidents that have taken place in the past, where there are illegal migrants with Chinese descent who have been caught. There have been instances where Chinese spies that have been caught in Manipur and other parts of the northeastern region of the country. So why is it that the government still continue to be hesitant to find a solution? I mean, it cannot be just assumed and we can just lie low and say there is no solution that can be found, because it's impossible to come to that decision, come to that acknowledgement. Why is it that there is no political will?
Right, Megha. Megha, that's a very good question. And thank you so much for asking this. And thank you very much, in fact, even more for covering this, for speaking about Manipur. And Manipur deserves a voice because the most beautiful, the most principled, the most cultured, the most well-mannered, disciplined, hardworking people are from Manipur. And they have contributed a great deal in our nation building. And we cannot ignore them at any cost. Now, because people, unfortunately, their understanding about the northeast part of India, unfortunately, very limited. They don't know anything beyond Assam. Unfortunately, a lot of people argue with me that, Manipur is in Guwahati or is in Assam. How can a state be in a city? I don't understand that. So there are some very, very ridiculous people. Now, the very fact is what you asked me, yes, that angle has to be explored. It cannot be ruled out completely that most certainly China has been promoting anything anti-India. Now, you asked a very interesting question to General Dwivedi, which he very rightly answered. I remember as the ADC to the corps commander, when I landed with the corps commander on the helipad, and General Dwivedi was there. First question that the corps commander had asked General Dwivedi was, since he had commanded a brigade in Baramulla and JNK, and now he was commanding a division in Manipur, what do you find the difference in the militancy, in the insurgency in Jammu Kashmir and in Manipur? And very aptly, what was brought out by him, that in Manipur, it is not suicide bombing. Like in JNK, it is more like suicide bombers. And those are terrorists in Jammu Kashmir. Here they are insurgents, here they are militants. And then here in Manipur or in the northeast part of India, they were insurgents who had principles, who would never attack women and children. Colonel Biplab Tripaঠি's assassination just about a year and a half back or so, with his family was very, very unfortunate. It was a shocker for me, in fact, because I believe that PLA, which told the People's Liberation Army, not of China, but of Manipur, the insurgent group, which took responsibility of it later on, apparently they gave a statement that they weren't aware that the family was traveling with him, and they requested the families should not be present in those stations. That's a different thing. But now the very fact is, these people would never attack the ambulance or school buses. They had their principles. There was a case, about this case where I myself was in the trap of the insurgent with 5 soldiers, but we got our way along because I could speak the local dialect and fluently, and we found a way out. That's a different thing. Similar thing would not have happened in Jammu Kashmir. Jammu Kashmir is got total influence of Pakistan, as General Dwivedi rightly said. So now the very fact that when there is a China angle, it has to be, why can't we? Because people do not take interest, unfortunately. When you spoke about the porous border, well, I was interviewing a very, very senior officer, a veteran of the Northeast. He said, he laughed at me. He said, porous border, what are you talking about? There's hardly any border. There's no border at all. You know, Megha, interestingly, people will be surprised to hear what the senior officer told me. He told me that they were houses which had their bedroom in India and kitchen in Myanmar.
Fair enough. Yes, yes, absolutely. So then you think the current circumstances, the way junta has been ruling Myanmar in an autocratic rule, is also then forcing India to look into the border situation in Myanmar? And is this then going to force the Indian government to acknowledge that this is a problem, finally acknowledge that in Manipur there cannot be ignorance, there cannot be sidelining of the issue, the solution, because it hurts the sovereignty of the country? And it's unfortunate that it is because such a big issue, which is the issue of terrorism and the sovereignty of the country that is at stake, that the governments of the day have to then, and the politicians of the day have utilized this as a tool to pay attention to Manipur.
Megha, you are absolutely right. You know, I will just quickly conclude in a few. I know you are running short of time. I would just say, see, on 7th January, I'll just draw a small little parallel. There were elections, there was voting in Bangladesh, and there were a lot of illegal immigrants from Bangladesh who would enter India. But now those illegal immigrants has also reduced. And if Sheikh Hasina, I mean, in her time, of course, why? Because the economy of Bangladesh was only gradually, slowly growing up. Now, similarly, in Myanmar, the military junta, yes, you rightly said, because of the coup, because of the military junta, a lot of people were under threat in Myanmar. They tried to cross over. And the crossing over border, the rules are very simple. I mean, there's a law, I would not say a law, I would say there is an agreement, rather, between the two nations that they can come inside 16 kilometers deep inside Myanmar. A person from Myanmar can come 16 kilometers deep into India, and a person from Indian side can go 16 kilometers deep inside only with a written permission from the Gaon Buddha. Gaon Buddha is who? The village sarpanch, the village headman. That's about it. So it's a very, very simple thing, and they have religious, they have their own community, they have people married, they have the relatives, they have friends across. So that, of course, is there. Now, illegal immigrants from Bangladesh, point to be noted, they've reduced, right? Similarly, when there is a problem, like, okay, I'll give you another example for everyone to understand, a simple thing. From India, if we get a good job abroad, we guys go abroad, we migrate to the Gulf or US or somewhere. Similarly, people look out for greener pastures. Now, if this can be stopped, like General Dwivedi said, and like how other panelists also rightly said, if the fencing can be strengthened further, I'm sure, Megha, I'm certain that this problem would not be of this reality as it is now.
Okay, all right.